The Song of Songs, also known as the Song of Solomon, is a unique book in the Bible. Unlike other scriptures that focus on laws or history, this book is a collection of poetic dialogues celebrating love and desire between a man and a woman. It uses vivid imagery and metaphors from nature to express the depth of their affection. While it portrays human love, many have also interpreted it as an allegory of the love between God and His people. Chapter 1. The song begins with the voice of the young woman, her heart bursting with desire as she calls out in longing for her beloved. She says, "Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is better than wine." Her voice is soft, yet filled with passion like the warm wind that moves through the vineyard. She compares his love to the finest wine, sweet and intoxicating, something that makes her soul tremble. She continues, "Your ointments have a pleasing fragrance. Your name is like perfume poured out. That is why the young women love you." She feels the power of his name, the weight of his presence, like a fragrance that fills the air and draws others in. She is drawn to him, pulled by the strength of his love, and she calls out, "Take me away with you, let us hurry. May the king bring me into his chambers." Then the voices of the friends join in singing together, "We will rejoice and be glad in you. We will praise your love more than wine." They celebrate the joy of love, the sweetness of being desired, and the beauty of belonging to one another. The woman, though, feels her own insecurities rise, and she speaks again, "I am dark, but beautiful, O daughters of Jerusalem, dark like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon." She sees her skin darkened by the sun and feels shy before the women of the city. She says, "Do not stare at me because I am dark, because the sun has gazed upon me. My mother's sons were angry with me. They made me take care of the vineyards, but my own vineyard I have not kept." Her voice is soft with sadness, yet her longing remains. She turns her gaze toward her beloved and calls out, "Tell me, you whom my soul loves, where you graze your flock, where you rest at midday. Why should I be like one who veils herself beside the flocks of your friends?" She longs to be near him, to know where he is, to walk beside him in the fields. Her beloved answers her gently, like a shepherd calming the wind. He says, "If you do not know, O most beautiful among women, follow the tracks of the sheep and graze your young goats by the tents of the shepherds." He calls her beautiful, the most beautiful among women, and invites her to come closer. He lifts her up with his words, comparing her to a lovely mare harnessed to the chariots of Pharaoh. He says, "Your cheeks are lovely with ornaments, your neck with strings of jewels." The friends join in again, singing, "We will make for you ornaments of gold, studded with silver." The young woman, moved by his words, speaks of her beloved again. She says, "While the king was at his table, my perfume spread its fragrance. My beloved is to me a sachet of myrrh that lies between my breasts. My beloved is to me a cluster of henna blossoms in the vineyards of En-gedi." She compares him to the finest treasures, like myrrh and henna, that are precious and rare, carried close to her heart. Her beloved looks into her eyes, and he says with tenderness, "How beautiful you are, my darling, how beautiful. Your eyes are like doves." The young woman, overwhelmed by his words, replies, "How handsome you are, my beloved, and so charming. Our bed is verdant, the beams of our house are cedar, and the rafters are fir." Their love is like a garden, a green and peaceful place, filled with beauty and fragrance. And so the first chapter ends, with hearts full of longing, eyes gazing into each other's souls, and the promise of love blooming like a flower in the warmth of the sun. Chapter 2. The young woman speaks again, her voice as soft as a breeze in the morning. She says, "I am a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys." She sees herself as a simple flower, delicate and small, yet her beloved replies quickly, lifting her with his words. He says, "Like a lily among thorns is my darling among the young women." He sees her as a rare beauty, standing out among others like a lily blooming in a field of thorns. The woman, her heart swelling with joy, replies, "Like an apple tree among the trees of the forest is my beloved among the young men. I delight to sit in his shade, and his fruit is sweet to my taste." She compares him to a strong tree, offering shelter and sweetness, a place of comfort where she feels safe. She continues, her voice filled with passion, "He has brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner over me is love." She sees herself as honored, cherished, as though he has placed a banner of love over her for all to see. She feels faint with longing, her love so strong it weakens her. She says, "Strengthen me with raisins, refresh me with apples, for I am faint with love." She imagines his embrace, his left hand under her head, and his right hand holding her close. Her voice drops into a whisper as she says, "I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the gazelles and the does of the field, do not stir up or awaken love until it pleases." She knows that love is powerful, like a fire waiting to burn, and she tells the young women to wait for the right time. Then her voice shifts as she hears her beloved approaching. She cries out with joy, "The voice of my beloved! Behold, he comes, leaping over the mountains, bounding over the hills." She sees him like a gazelle, swift and strong, coming to her through the hills. She says, "My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. Behold, he stands behind our wall, gazing through the windows, peering through the lattice." Her beloved speaks to her, calling her with tenderness. He says, "Arise, my darling, my beautiful one, and come with me. For now the winter is past, the rains are over and gone. The flowers have appeared on the earth, the time for singing has come, and the voice of the dove is heard in our land. The fig tree ripens its figs, and the vines are in blossom. They give forth fragrance. Arise, my darling, my beautiful one, and come with me." He longs for her to join him, to walk with him in the beauty of the world. He calls her his dove and says, "O my dove, in the clefts of the rock, in the hiding places of the mountainside, let me see your face, let me hear your voice. For your voice is sweet and your face is lovely." The young woman then speaks, thinking of the little foxes that could ruin the vineyard of their love. She says, "Catch for us the foxes, the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, for our vineyards are in blossom." She knows that love must be protected, that small troubles can spoil the beauty of a relationship, and she wants to guard it well. She closes her heart with a beautiful declaration saying, "My beloved is mine, and I am his. He grazes among the lilies." Her voice softens as she says, "Until the day breathes and the shadows flee, turn, my beloved, and be like a gazelle or a young stag on the mountains of Bether." And so the second chapter ends, with love blossoming like a garden in the spring, with hearts longing for one another, and the promise of togetherness blooming in the warmth of the day. Chapter 3. The woman's voice returns in the quiet of the night, trembling with longing. She says, "On my bed at night I searched for the one my soul loves. I searched for him, but I did not find him." Her heart is restless, unable to sleep, for love stirs in her like a fire that will not be quenched. The darkness feels heavy, and the silence is loud, but her heart is louder still, calling out for the one she loves. She cannot bear it any longer. She rises from her bed and says, "I will get up now and go through the city, through its streets and squares. I will search for the one my soul loves." Her footsteps echo on the stone paths as she moves quickly, searching every corner, her heart pounding in her chest. But she says again, with a hint of sorrow, "I searched for him, but I did not find him." As she walks through the streets, the watchmen who patrol the city find her. They stand in the shadows, guarding the city, and she asks them, "Have you seen the one my soul loves?" Her voice is urgent, her eyes filled with longing. And as soon as she passes them by, she finds him. Her breath catches in her throat, and she says with joy, "I found the one my soul loves." Her arms wrap around him tightly, and she whispers, "I will not let him go until I have brought him to my mother's house, to the room of the one who gave birth to me." Her love is fierce and protective, like a lioness guarding her cub. Then she turns her voice to the daughters of Jerusalem once more, as if teaching them the sacredness of love. She says, "I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the gazelles and by the does of the field. Do not stir up or awaken love until it pleases." She knows that love must grow in its own time, that to force it would be to spoil its sweetness. Her words hang in the air like a song, soft and full of wisdom. And then, as if a new scene unfolds before her eyes, she speaks of a grand and glorious sight, a procession rising from the wilderness like a pillar of smoke, perfumed with myrrh, frankincense, and all the spices of the merchant's trade. The vision shimmers in the sunlight, the air thick with the scent of spices. She calls out, "Look! It is Solomon's carriage, surrounded by 60 mighty men, the warriors of Israel. All of them wear swords, each skilled in battle, each with his sword at his side, ready to face the terrors of the night." The carriage itself is a thing of beauty and power. She describes it with wonder. King Solomon made it from the wood of Lebanon. Its posts are of silver, its base of gold, its seat of purple. Its interior is inlaid with love by the daughters of Jerusalem. Every detail shines with craftsmanship, each piece telling the story of royal splendor and devotion. And then she lifts her voice, calling out to the daughters of Zion, saying, "Come out, O daughters of Zion, and look upon King Solomon, wearing the crown with which his mother crowned him on the day of his wedding, the day of the gladness of his heart." The day is bright, the air is filled with joy, and the picture of love and celebration is complete. Chapter 4. The beloved looks upon his bride with eyes full of wonder, and he speaks words that flow like honey from his lips. He says, "How beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful you are. Your eyes are like doves behind your veil." His gaze is tender, tracing every part of her face, and he speaks with admiration. He says, "Your hair is like a flock of goats leaping down the slopes of Gilead." He sees the way her dark hair flows and moves, and he compares it to a beautiful flock on the hills. He continues, his voice soft and filled with desire. "Your teeth are like a flock of sheep just shorn, coming up from the washing. Each has its twin, and none is missing. He sees the perfection in her smile, the purity of her beauty. Your lips are like a scarlet thread, and your mouth is lovely. Your cheeks behind your veil are like halves of a pomegranate. His words are rich with images of nature, of fruits and flocks, symbols of abundance and life. He praises her neck, saying, "Your neck is like the Tower of David, built with courses of stone. On it hang 1,000 shields, all of them shields of warriors." He sees her strength, her nobility, and her grace. His eyes lower, and he whispers, "Your 2 breasts are like 2 fawns, twins of a gazelle that browse among the lilies." His words are gentle, tender, as if touching each part of her with his voice. He calls her to him, saying, "Until the day breaks and the shadows flee, I will go to the mountain of myrrh and to the hill of frankincense." He longs to be near her, to breathe in her fragrance, to rest in the place of love. Then, with a voice as strong as the sun and as soft as the evening breeze, he declares, "You are altogether beautiful, my darling. There is no flaw in you." He sees her as perfect, without blemish, a masterpiece of beauty and grace. He invites her to come away with him, saying, "Come with me from Lebanon, my bride. Come with me from Lebanon. Descend from the crest of Amana, from the top of Senir, the summit of Hermon, from the lions' dens, from the mountains of leopards." He calls her to leave the wild places behind and come into the shelter of his love. His voice grows more intimate, and he says, "You have stolen my heart, my sister, my bride. You have stolen my heart with one glance of your eyes, with one jewel of your necklace." He is captivated by her, undone by her beauty and presence. He says, "How delightful is your love, my sister, my bride. How much more pleasing is your love than wine, and the fragrance of your perfume than any spice." He is lost in her sweetness, in the intoxicating power of her love. He speaks of her lips, saying, "Your lips drip sweetness like the honeycomb, my bride. Honey and milk are under your tongue. The fragrance of your garments is like the fragrance of Lebanon." His words are thick with praise, and he sees her as a garden, closed off to the world, precious and pure. He says, "You are a garden locked up, my sister, my bride. You are a spring enclosed, a sealed fountain. Your plants are an orchard of pomegranates with choice fruits, with henna and nard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with every kind of incense tree, with myrrh and aloes, and all the finest spices." He calls her a paradise, a place of beauty and abundance. He says, "You are a garden fountain, a well of flowing water streaming down from Lebanon." The woman, hearing his words, opens her heart fully and calls out, "Awake, north wind, and come, south wind. Blow upon my garden, let its fragrance spread everywhere. Let my beloved come into his garden and taste its choice fruits." Her invitation is clear, her love is ready, and she opens her soul to her beloved, welcoming him into the garden of her heart. Chapter 5. The voice of the beloved fills the air, soft and full of passion as he answers her invitation. He says, "I have come into my garden, my sister, my bride. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I have drunk my wine with my milk." His words are like a song of fulfillment, of desire met and love shared. The friends too join in with joyful voices, calling out, "Eat, friends, and drink. Drink your fill of love." But as the night grows still, the young woman speaks again. Her voice is soft, tinged with longing. She says, "I was asleep, but my heart was awake. It is the voice of my beloved. He is knocking. Her heart leaps, for love is calling her even in the depths of night. She hears his voice at the door saying, "Open to me, my sister, my darling, my dove, my perfect one. My head is drenched with dew, my hair with the dampness of the night." His voice is full of longing, of a love that waits in the cold and dark. But the woman hesitates. She says, "I have taken off my robe. Must I put it on again? I have washed my feet. Must I soil them again?" There is a moment of pause, of delay, and in that hesitation, love's moment passes. Her beloved stretches out his hand through the latch of the door, and her heart pounds within her. She rises quickly, her hands dripping with myrrh, her fingers with liquid myrrh as she touches the handle of the bolt. She opens the door to her beloved, but he is gone. Her voice trembles with sorrow. She says, "My heart sank at his departure. I searched for him, but did not find him. I called him, but he did not answer." The night is dark and lonely, and as she wanders through the city, the watchmen find her once again. But this time, they treat her harshly. She says, "The watchmen found me as they made their rounds in the city. They struck me. They bruised me. The guards of the walls took away my cloak." Her love has turned into longing, and her search has left her wounded. Yet her heart remains steadfast. She turns to the daughters of Jerusalem and says, "I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, tell him I am faint with love." The daughters of Jerusalem, curious and intrigued, ask her, "How is your beloved better than others, O most beautiful of women? How is your beloved better than others that you so charge us?" The woman's voice rises, full of praise and beauty, as she speaks of her beloved in glowing detail. She says, "My beloved is radiant and ruddy, outstanding among 10,000. His head is purest gold. His hair is wavy and black as a raven. His eyes are like doves by streams of water, washed in milk, set like jewels. His cheeks are like beds of spice, yielding perfume. His lips are like lilies, dripping with myrrh. His arms are rods of gold set with topaz. His body is polished ivory, decorated with sapphires. His legs are pillars of marble set on bases of pure gold. His appearance is like Lebanon, choice as its cedars. His mouth is sweetness itself. He is altogether lovely. This is my beloved. This is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem." Her voice is full of love. Her heart is set on him, and she will not be moved. Chapter 6. The daughters of Jerusalem, hearing her passion, ask, "Where has your beloved gone, O most beautiful of women? Where has your beloved turned, that we may help you seek him?" The woman answers, her heart full of hope once more. She says, "My beloved has gone down to his garden, to the beds of spices, to browse in the gardens, and to gather lilies. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. He browses among the lilies." Then her beloved speaks, his voice like a gentle wind over the fields. He says, "You are as beautiful as Tirzah, my darling, as lovely as Jerusalem, as majestic as an army with banners." His words rise like a song of admiration, full of wonder at her beauty. He says, "Turn your eyes from me, for they overwhelm me. Your hair is like a flock of goats leaping down from Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of sheep coming up from the washing. Each has its twin, and none is missing. Your temples behind your veil are like the halves of a pomegranate." He continues, counting her beauty as if counting stars in the sky. He says, 60 queens there may be, and 80 concubines, and virgins beyond number, but my dove, my perfect one, is unique, the only daughter of her mother, the favorite of the one who bore her. The young women saw her and called her blessed, the queens and concubines praised her. Her beloved sees her as beyond compare, a jewel among the women of the world. He describes her as radiant, saying, "Who is this that appears like the dawn, fair as the moon, bright as the sun, majestic as the stars in procession?" His words are like the rising sun itself, filling the air with light. He speaks of walking among the gardens, saying, "I went down to the grove of nut trees to look at the new growth in the valley, to see if the vines had budded or the pomegranates were in bloom." His heart is drawn to the beauty of the earth, to the life springing forth in the gardens. And then the young women of Jerusalem speak, calling out, come back, O Shulamite, come back, that we may gaze on you." The woman responds, perhaps shyly or playfully, "Why would you gaze on the Shulamite as on the dance of two armies?" Her beauty shines like the dance of a great celebration, a sight that fills all who see her with awe. Chapter 7. The voice of the beloved rises again, soft and full of wonder, as he gazes upon the beauty of the woman he loves. His words are like a song, flowing with admiration. He begins, "How beautiful are your feet in sandals, O noble daughter! Your graceful legs are like jewels, the work of a master's hand." His eyes trace the shape of her body, and he speaks with awe, praising her from head to toe, every part of her a wonder in his eyes. He continues, "Your navel is a rounded bowl that never lacks blended wine. Your waist is a mound of wheat encircled by lilies." His words are full of rich images, comparing her to the abundance of the harvest, the fragrance of flowers, the sweetness of the vineyard. He speaks of her body, saying, "Your breasts are like two fawns, twins of a gazelle." His words are tender, delicate, like a gentle touch. His gaze moves higher, and he says, "Your neck is like an ivory tower. Your eyes are the pools of Heshbon by the gate of Bath Rabbim. Your nose is like the tower of Lebanon looking toward Damascus." His voice is filled with admiration for her noble bearing, her grace, her strength. She is like a city on a hill, beautiful and proud. He continues, "Your head crowns you like Mount Carmel. The hair of your head is like purple cloth. The king is held captive by its tresses." He sees her beauty as a power, a force that can captivate even a king. He whispers, "How beautiful you are, and how pleasing, my love, with your delights. Your stature is like that of a palm tree, and your breasts like clusters of fruit." His desire is clear, and he longs to be close to her. He says, "I said, I will climb the palm tree. I will take hold of its fruit. May your breasts be like clusters of grapes on the vine, the fragrance of your breath like apples, and your mouth like the best wine." The woman responds, her voice soft and inviting. She says, "May the wine go straight to my beloved, flowing gently over lips and teeth." She speaks of her love as something to be savored like the finest wine shared between lovers. Her voice deepens, full of certainty, as she says, "I belong to my beloved, and his desire is for me." She knows who she is, and she knows to whom she belongs. Their love is mutual, deep, and strong. She invites him with joy, saying, "Oh, come, my beloved, let us go out into the countryside. Let us spend the night in the villages. Let us go early to the vineyards to see if the vines have budded, if their blossoms have opened, and if the pomegranates are in bloom. There I will give you my love." Her words are filled with longing and anticipation as she pictures the sweetness of love blooming in the fields. She continues, "The mandrakes send out their fragrance, and at our door is every delicacy, both new and old, that I have stored up for you, my beloved." Her heart is full of treasures, saved and prepared for the one she loves. Her love is not only fresh like springtime, but also rich with memories and gifts from the past, both new and old, ready for him. Chapter 8. The woman's voice is soft and full of longing as she imagines a closeness so complete that she could hold her beloved without restraint. She says, "If only you were to me like a brother who was nursed at my mother's breasts. Then if I found you outside, I would kiss you, and no one would despise me." She longs for a love that can be shown openly, a love that does not hide in the shadows. She continues, "I would lead you and bring you to my mother's house, she who taught me. I would give you spiced wine to drink, the nectar of my pomegranates." Her love is a gift, sweet and precious, and she wants to share it fully. She speaks again of love's tenderness, saying, "His left arm is under my head, and his right arm embraces me." The image is of warmth and closeness, of resting in the arms of her beloved. Once more, she calls out to the daughters of Jerusalem, saying, "Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires." Her words are full of wisdom, a gentle reminder that love must grow at its own pace like a flower in the right season. Then the scene shifts. The voices of others rise, asking, "Who is this coming up from the wilderness, leaning on her beloved?" The picture is of a woman emerging from the wild places, leaning on the one she loves, strong in their closeness. The woman's voice is soft and tender as she remembers the place where love first bloomed. She says, "Under the apple tree I awakened you. There your mother conceived you. There she who gave you birth brought you into the world." She sees love as something woven through generations, born in the secret places of the heart. Then her voice rises, full of passion, as she makes a bold declaration. She says, "Place me like a seal over your heart, like a seal on your arm. For love is as strong as death, its jealousy unyielding as the grave. It burns like blazing fire, like a mighty flame." Her words are fierce, unshakable, declaring that love is powerful, unbreakable, a flame that cannot be quenched. She continues, "Many waters cannot quench love. Rivers cannot wash it away. If one were to give all the wealth of one's house for love, it would be utterly scorned. Love," she says, "is beyond price. It is not something that can be bought or sold, for it is greater than riches, stronger than all the forces of the earth." Then a new voice rises, perhaps her brother, protectively speaking of her. They say, "We have a little sister, and her breasts are not yet grown. What shall we do for our sister on the day she is spoken for? If she is a wall, we will build towers of silver on her. If she is a door, we will enclose her with panels of cedar." They speak of guarding her, of preparing her for love at the right time. The woman responds, declaring her strength and readiness. She says, "I am a wall, and my breasts are like towers. Thus I have become in his eyes like one bringing contentment." She knows her worth, her beauty, her power as a woman. She speaks of Solomon's vineyard, saying, "Solomon had a vineyard in Baal Hamon. He let out the vineyard to tenants. Each was to bring for its fruit 1,000 shekels of silver. But my own vineyard is mine to give. The 1,000 shekels are for you, Solomon, and 200 are for those who tend its fruit." She holds her love as something precious, something freely given, not for sale, not for rent, but hers to offer. The voice of her beloved rises once more, calling to her from the garden. He says, "You who dwell in the gardens with friends in attendance, let me hear your voice." He longs to hear her, to be close to her, to share in the song of love. The woman answers with joy, saying, "Come away, my beloved, and be like a gazelle or like a young stag on the spice-laden mountains." Her words are full of passion and longing, inviting him once more to the place where love blooms. And so the Song of Songs ends, not with a final closing, but with an open invitation, an endless call to love, to joy, to beauty, and to belonging.